Hey guys, Mike Brandon. It's time for the worship-based workshop. Now today I'm going to look at something we're going to do that I've been working with some students on, and this is just simply how to get a little more control and command of your neck. And the way I do this is just using a basic arpeggio. This is going to be hopefully a pretty quick lesson. The arpeggio I'm going to be using here is the G major. If you have a 5-string, we could start on the D major, and that would be on the 3rd fret of the B string there. But I'm going to start on the 3rd fret of the E string, which is a G. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're doing this arpeggio a little bit differently. There are a couple different ways, a couple different positions you can use for this arpeggio. And if you're new to arpeggios, an arpeggio is simply the chord tones of the chord. The basic chord tones, the 1, the 3, and the 5 are the basic ones. From there you can add a 7th, you can add a 9th, you can add whatever you want after that. But for right now we're just doing a 1, 3, 5 arpeggio. So a major arpeggio, a major G, a G major arpeggio is going to be a G, a B, and a D. So if you're playing a chord and you're playing a G, a B, and a D, then that is your G major chord. That's the basic notes for a G major chord. And it would sound like this if I played up here on the 15th fret. I got the G, and I got the B, and I got the D. You hear that? That's your G major chord. Okay, so now we're going to use this arpeggio to do a little exercise. And the way I'm going to recommend you doing this is start off with your pointer finger here on the G. Stretch your pinky to the B, which is going to be up on the 7th fret of your E string. Use your pointer finger again for the D, which is going to be the 5th fret of your A string. And then you're going to repeat that. You're just going to do an octave up. So you're doing G, B, D, then a higher G, B, D, which is the 5th fret of the D string, 9th fret of the D string, and 7th fret of the G string. And then we're going to top it off with an octave G up on the 12th fret of the G string. So you're only using these 2 fingers. You're using your pointer finger and your pinky. And on our right hand, since we're doing this as an exercise, we're going to alternate. Now you can also do this. You can also practice your raking, but whatever you do, the type of fingering you practice here, I want you to keep it consistent so that you are instilling some muscle memory here. Okay? That's the basic arpeggio. That's the basic exercise. So what this does is this will help us with our stretches, going from, you're going up 2 full steps there from the G to the B. And then when you hit the B to the G, when you go from the D to the G, then you're going up 2.5 steps. So you're going up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets, okay? And just practice, you're target practicing, so you're wanting to get accurate with nailing the notes, with hitting those notes right where you want to hit them, okay? Be focusing on your shifting here, so you want to shift, have nice smooth shifts with your hand, okay? So you don't want to be gripping too tightly. This is going to help you with your grip. It's also going to help you at least kind of diagnose where you might be having some problems, okay? So if you're gripping your neck real tight to get these notes to sound, then you're not going to have a smooth flow from your movement on your neck. So your hand is going to want to hold up because you're gripping too tight. If you have a nice, loose, relaxed grip on your neck, you'll be able to hit those notes very nicely. Then you go, so G, B, D, G, B, D, G, D, B, G, D, B, G. All right? That's the first part of this exercise, really just getting familiar with this kind of an arpeggio and this kind of an exercise where you're doing a 2-octave arpeggio. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is the minor arpeggio. Now the minor arpeggio, major, minor, The only thing that separates those two is a third, just one fret on the third. So you flatten the third to make a minor. So to clear that up, we go from a G. For a G major arpeggio, we have a G, B, and D. For a G minor arpeggio, we have a G, B flat, and D. So if you listen to these together, if I hit a, let's see, I'm going to hit a G. So a G major chord would sound like this. And a G minor chord, I'm going to flatten the third, so to a B flat, and it'll sound like this. Hear the difference? Okay, so now we're going to use this G minor, and we're going to only use, we're going to add a finger here. We're going to use the pointer finger, our middle finger now on the left hand, but we're still going to use the pinky for the last note. And we're going to play it in this way, starting on the root, which is the G, starting with our index finger, or our pointer finger. And we're going G, the minor third, the B flat, we're hitting with our middle finger, so. And then pointer finger again for the fifth, which is the D. So the 1 and the 5 are constant with these two different arpeggios. So you got G, B flat, D. Then we start over with the, on the D string 5th fret, G, B flat, D, and then we hit the G, the high G with our pinky. Now the way to practice these so that we stay on these 4 strings, and if you have a 5 string, you could do it, you could start on the D for instance, or anywhere on this, on your B string here. Now I know that you can cover all 5 strings, and you can do that. The disadvantage or the advantage of staying on the 4 strings is this is a left-hand exercise as far as I'm concerned, and it really is, we're wanting to cover as much of the neck as possible. So by using 4 strings, then we're jumping up. So we're starting at the 3rd fret, we're jumping up to the 12th fret ending. So we're covering, you know, like 9 frets in this exercise here, which is great. So, but if we're gonna, let's go back to this 4 string here. Let's go back to the G string, to the E string. We're starting on the G. And if you want to work through all of your fourths, as we do in other exercises, the cycle of fourths, then what I want you to do is keep the root, the first note on your E string. Okay, this is how it will be: G. Then C is going to be up here. And then F, instead of coming all the way up here, if you have a 20 fret bass like I do, I can't come to a high, I can get to a high F. If you have that, if you have a 24, 22 fret, then you can get up. If you can get up to that F, then you can do it, fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to the first fret of my E string. Whoops. Okay, then up to the B flat. And so on. Just keep going. Same thing as we go on to the major. Back to what we were doing earlier. So we have G first, then up to the C. F. Right? Where's that F giving me trouble? I don't know. B flat. This will help you cover every note and every arpeggio, every major arpeggio. So, and you'll do it covering these 9 frets. It's a good exercise to help you with your jumping, just to help you with your fingering. It also, you're covering 4 strings, so your right hand is doing a good workout as well. So remember, keep your fingering consistent as you do this. Start off very slowly and work your way up to speed. Next, what we'll do, next time we do this lesson, we'll start creating some melodic exercises out of these arpeggios and see where that takes us. So until next time, this is Mike Brandenstein, Worship Bass Workshop. Please subscribe to this channel. The videos are going to be coming, and I will look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.